For a man in a whole lot of trouble, seems like Diddy doesn't have a care in the world. The disgraced music mogul spent his July 4th week whitewater rafting, but legally he's up a creek without a paddle. NBC reporting that Diddy's officially the subject of a federal grand jury investigation in New York City. He was also just slapped with his 10th lawsuit since November. A former porn star, Adria English, suing Diddy and others in his network for $50 billion, claiming she was sex trafficked, groomed, drugged, and assaulted. Adria worked for Diddy from 2004 to 2009 as a go-go dancer, working his white parties in exchange for Diddy's connections. He was supposed to help her break into the music industry and help her then boyfriend in the modeling world, but instead, she claims she was tortured. Adria says that soon after she started working his parties, Diddy would force her to drink out of certain liquor bottles, which she claims were laced with ecstasy. She says Diddy coerced her into having sex with his guests and claimed Diddy had hidden cameras in every room of his home, which corroborates our reporting. Adria says Diddy has videos of her being sexually assaulted while unconscious. If true, that means those tapes could be in the FBI's hands now after they raided his mansions. The lawsuit also claims that Diddy threatened to hurt Adria if she tried to leave, and that he blackballed her from the industry when she moved to California. Diddy's lawyer denying all allegations against him, saying he never sexually assaulted or trafficked anyone, and he's confident he'll prevail in court. But with the lawsuits piling up, it's getting harder and harder to survive. Jaco Booyens is an anti-human trafficking advocate and founder of Jaco Booyens Ministries. Jaco, this is the second major lawsuit, not only claiming sex trafficking, but also making the analogy that what Diddy was doing was almost exactly the same as Epstein. What does that tell you?
Yeah, good evening, Jesse. Thanks for having me on. That's correct. And I love your opening to this segment. This is a horror movie straight out of Tinseltown, scripted by Dr. Evil of sort. But unfortunately, it's textbook. It's how this works. The fact that he's going to go in front of a grand jury, Jesse, tells us that there's enough admissible evidence that points to force, fraud, or coercion, the definition of human trafficking. And Diddy, under these allegations and accusations, would be tried as a sex trafficker, something we wanted to see Epstein tried as.
What's with the whitewater rafting? I'm not a public relations expert. It would tell me that he's trying to send a message. What would that message be?
Yeah, again, you're nailing it. Probably you could imagine that his PR team is in his ear saying, you know, business as usual, because Jesse has gotten away with it for 20 plus years. These guys are so cavalier. He's delusional is what he is. He has found ways to coerce and threatened victims for years, and they normally get away with it because they have a whole cadre of people protecting them in the industry, and this time, hopefully, the cookie will crumble.
Well, not only am I not a PR expert, I'm also not a lawyer. Maybe you could answer this question. If it's been months since this raid, where the FBI seized all the electronics and the cameras and the devices, they have it all, why is it still taking so long to indict him?
Human trafficking cases, Jesse, are difficult. They're complex because you don't want it pled down. And it's normally it is pled down to a drug charge, a kidnapping charge, something else. If they truly are going after him for sex trafficking, which they should here, you have to build a forensically sound case that'll hold up in court so that some corrupt judge or corrupt DA does not plead this down to something smaller. So in this case, it's good that they're taking time, build a solid case based on the law of human trafficking, get these forensic interviews on tape, because remember, Virginia Guffrey's evidence was thrown out of court on a technicality against Epstein. They're waiting to discredit the plaintiff. And so it's good that they get it right, but they do have to move on this because you're right, the FBI has the tapes.
Yeah, and it looks like they're going to contain this to just Diddy and make it airtight so no one above Diddy takes the fall, because we know there's a lot of record label executives that were mentioned in these complaints that have a lot of dirt on their hands. Jaco, thanks as always for coming on the show. We really, really respect your opinion.
Thank you, Jesse.